In my projects, I need often to export data that they can be further analyzed into Excel. For this, I have here up in this msproject file a button. This button, you might not have it, but I'm sure if you are following this video, you might get it. So when I click on the button, what happens? It tells me that it's going to export my data, on which I say, OK. And here it's telling me that the export is already done. So you notice that I didn't give any specific information as which data, which format. If now I switch to Excel here, I can go and see the result of this export. For that, for me, I have here a file that I will open. I know where the file is since for the demo I opened it already several times. So by opening this file, you see that I have here to say that the first line is a header, and then I can just go to the next and say import it finally. And here we find all our data that were directly exported from msproject. So I think this is really interesting. It's Christian from Vision 6D. For me, it's always a pleasure to share with you some of my knowledge. I train and I consult for companies. So you might now be wondering what's really happening in there. So the key is that there is a macro that is launched by the button. So we are in msproject and we export data directly to a text file that is located here, you see it, and in Excel we go and we import by opening this file. So this is the principle how it works, and now I'm going to show you how to concretely do it. The first thing that I will need to do is to create a macro. For this, I'm going into Developer, and here I select Visual Basic. In there, I'm going here to create by inserting a module. In my case, it's module 3. What I'm going now is to create the code. I have that code already copied, so I'm going simply to paste it here inside. So we see here up that it is called Export Task to Text File. So what I'm going to do is to rename the module. And for that, I come here and I'm going to name this Extract Tasks. So with this, I have now a macro that is defined in this msproject file. From here, I can try to run the macro to check that it really works. For this, I can come here on the Run button, and I'm going now to launch. It asks me whether I want to launch export tasks to text file, which is the name of the macro, and I can here say Run. In the code, I've set two modal windows that we see when the code starts, but of course for an automated process this will be removed. So I'm just saying OK, and you see that the export is already completed here. So we've done and we launched this at 6 p.m. 26. So I'm going now to look at the export file that I have, which is here, and you can see by the time it was at 6 p.m. 26. I have now launched Excel, and I'm going to open the file. I have it memorized since I opened it already several times. So I'm just going to double click on it and we'll see. Okay, so now we have the dialog through which I'm importing the file. So I'm saying that yes, I have a header in my export, and this is the first line. We see that it is the header exported from msproject. And after, I can come down and click on Next. On Next, we will see that the separator that I've chosen is the tabulation, which is absolutely correct. And we can see here how the lines would look like. So we see that there are quite a few information that I export in this case, but I'm just going to say next once again here. And now we see that I can import it. And here we go, we already have the exported file inserted into Excel. And we recognize here up the user ID, or the unique ID, I must say. Here is the ID, and then the name, duration, start, finish, predecessor, successor, and resource names. And I've also added some elements that will give me the possibility to do a follow-up on the project. That is to say, the percent complete, percent physical complete, actual start, actual finish. And we see that I add also work and actual work. I'm back into msproject, and what I need to do now is to add the button that will launch the macro. For this, I will come here into File and go down to Options. And within the options, I want to add the button to the Quick Access toolbar. For this, I select it, and you see here that you could add many popular commands. What I will do is to open this, and you see here something really interesting. It's that you can also add macros. I select the macro, and you see here we find the macro we just created. So I'm going to add this to the Quick Access toolbar. And here up again, you can see that now we have an additional button. So now let's test the button. So I'm here into my msproject file. I have the button, and I simply click on the button. Of course, that the model window is opening because I still have it on. And I'm simply saying, OK, and the export is already done. So we can check now by going to Excel, and I do exactly the same as what we did before. Here, I double click on this. I'm saying that the header is defined here. And here I can simply say finished. And this is just to show that it really worked. So 1 point more yet that you got. Now you have some new skills. So for me, it's always a pleasure to share this with you. And I hope to see you soon for next module. Bye-bye.